Hello there, welcome back to the channel. If you've not been here before, my name is Paul, and today, rather than talking about records, we're going to talk about guitars, or in particular one of these guitars. This is a Jet JS400 guitar, and ultimately the question is going to be, should you buy one of these guitars? And I'll cut to the chase. Yes, you should buy one of these guitars. I want to talk to you today about guitars and the way that people think, oh, it's a cheap guitar. That must be a beginner's guitar. That's a student's guitar. I couldn't possibly use that if I was out as a working musician earning money. Absolute rubbish, cobblers. This day and age, a guitar like this, which is £169, is pretty much all you need if you are a jobbing musician like me. Sorry to interrupt. Just bear in mind, this video might include some swearing. So if swearing's not for you, please go somewhere else, okay? Cheers. This guitar arrived at my house on Friday last week. It's Sunday today, by the way. Not that that matters to you. It arrived on Friday, around about 9:30 in the morning, from the amusingly named GAC down in Brighton. I ordered it at something like 3:30 Thursday afternoon, so it arrived in no time. Fair play to you, GAC. Great distribution, worked very well. Unlike someone else who I tried to order one of these guitars from and it all went tits up. I might tell you about that in a bit if I remember. But this guitar, it came out of the box, and a word about the box, the packaging on these things is not great. So be careful when you get yours to make sure that it's not damaged. It's one of the ways they save money, you know, packaging guitars, it costs money, right? So when you're making thousands of them, that couple of quid to get the boxes right, it all adds up, doesn't it? But this arrived on a Friday morning. I took it out of the box, tuned it. It wasn't even that out of tune, to be fair. And it felt fantastic straight away. So good that I took it to a gig on Friday night and played it for about 90 minutes. And I didn't do anything with it apart from put a strap on it, tuned it, and I cleaned the strings. I give the strings a wipe over because they're a bit grubby. They're not the greatest strings, if I'm being completely honest. But everything else about this, I've played it and I've gigged it. It's earned its keep straight out the box. A lot of people talk about these guitars and say, oh, if you're going to buy one of those things, you've got to modify it. You've got to change the tuners, you've got to change the pickups because they're going to be shit, right? Oh, and as for what about this trem? This must be rubbish. Absolute nonsense. Do not listen to these videos. Do not listen to these people. These are people with more money than fucking sense, okay? If you're buying a guitar that costs you £169, why on earth would you want to go and spend the same amount again modifying it to make it better? You ain't going to make it better. You're going to make it fucking worse, and when you come to sell it, nobody will want to buy it, okay? Because people want to buy things like this stock. So take that from me, okay? Let's start at the top. This is obviously a Stratocaster style guitar, okay? We have the genuine article over here to prove it for a quick compare and contrast, you know? This thing, thousands of pounds. Because like everybody else who plays guitars, I'm stupid, okay? And I get sucked into this kind of crap. This guitar, £169. Is this guitar any better than this one? No, it is not, okay? It's not. Let's start from the top. Nice headstock, slightly different shape to the Fender, obviously to prevent lawsuit problems. It has a nice set of tuners on there. A lot of people that I've watched in videos about these guitars say, the tuners, they're crap, man, you've got to change them, they're really notchy. Don't bother, okay? They're okay. For intents and purposes, they are absolutely fine. Leave them alone. Don't mess with them. The neck on this thing is just absolutely sensational. And that is the one part of the guitar that is worth the entry fee alone, okay? It's a Canadian maple roasted neck. Roasted? What, like a Sunday dinner? Well, yeah, because what they do with these things is They do. They just put them in a big oven at a certain temperature. Don't know what that temperature is. I don't care. And it absorbs some more of the moisture out of the neck. And it's just such a lovely finish on that, yeah? Fantastic. Feels great. There's no varnish on there, no lacquer that I can see. So your hand doesn't get stuck on it when you're playing. If you get a bit sweaty, it's great. On the other side of it, the frets, again, the frets are all really nice. Can you see those in there? I don't think they're stainless steel. I think they're nickel. And are they a little bit scratchy when you bend the strings? Maybe. Who cares? Who gives a shit, right? When you're playing your guitar plugged in, it's an electric guitar, because you will be plugging it in. No one's going to hear that kind of stuff anyway, are they? No one cares. The frets are good. They are dressed very well. There's no kind of sticky out bits to catch your fingers on or hurt your hands. The action on this guitar is also really good straight out of the box. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see that on the camera there or not, but there's probably about 1.5 millimeters-ish at the 12th fret. Again, I haven't measured it because I don't care. It's comfortable, okay? When people say you've got to have this ridiculously low hairline action, bollocks. You can't. If you want to play one of those guitars, good luck to you, because to have your action set up really low up here, it's going to rattle around and sound like shit up at this end. Nobody wants that. The pickups, we've got 1 single coil, 2 single coils, and a humbucker. These are ceramic pickups. Ceramic is just a type of magnet, right? There are Alnico pickups, which are magnets as well, which people seem to think are better. A lot of reviews for this have said, oh, the pickups, they're ceramic pickups. You want to change them. They're just cheap and they're crap. No, they're not. They're good. They're good pickups. Leave them the fuck alone, all right? Don't waste your money on these things. It's fine. Leave it. It's good. I can prove that because I went out and gigged it. Nobody stood scratching their heads and looking at me going, hey, mate, them pickups, they're shit then. You want to change them? Rubbish. They work perfectly fine. They are very good. You've got a 5-way selector switch, which works in the usual kind of Fender selector switchy way. You've got a volume knob and you've got a tone knob, which is a bit of departure from your traditional Strat, which has 3 knobs, which I'm not going to get into now. Talking about 3 knobs. The input jack is on the bottom rather than on the front, which I quite like. It's okay. You know, it means it's out of the way. Although you've got to watch if you kind of sit down with your guitar and you've got a lead in that you don't bang it on your knee. There you go. Not much to ask though, is it? The back of the guitar, again, is great because you've got, you see where the neck joins the body? It's nicely cut away there, and there's no big square neck plate on there like you get on one of these things. Not that it makes an awful lot of difference, but it just feels nice, you know? And it's the sort of thing that people would say, oh, that's a quality kind of thing to do to a guitar. That's the sort of thing you would only normally find on a much more expensive guitar. And they're probably right. They're probably right. But look, this is £169 worth of kit. I don't think you could even buy the parts and make it for that, you know? And it punches far above its weight, okay? This thing, a Fender Custom Shop Relic Strat, I bought that about 10 years back because I'm a big Gary Moore fan and I like the red Strat thing. And I paid £1,500 for that guitar then. To buy one of those things new now, I guess is, I don't know, I've not looked, £2,500, £3,000. Why? What makes that any better than this? Absolutely nothing. Nothing makes it better. Different woods, different materials, made in America rather than made somewhere where the labour is cheaper. I don't know where this is made, it doesn't say, but I'm going to guess it's going to be Indonesia, China, that part of the world. So what? Stop it with the snobbery, okay? Oh, it's a Chinese guitar, I ain't playing that. You know, people who spend an absolute fortune on mobile phones, they'll get an iPhone, yeah? What do these things cost? I haven't got one, I don't know, I've got a cheap and cheerful phone down there that I'm looking at my cell phone. What do they cost? I don't know, 1,500 quid? They're hundreds, if not thousands of pounds, right? And where are they made? They're made in China, yeah? Nobody gets one of them and goes, what's this Chinese iPhone shit? Get me an American iPhone. Do they fuck? Bollocks. There's nothing wrong with Asian-made musical equipment. Like everything else, you can get good ones, you can get bad ones. So bear that in mind, you know. There's nothing that says because you're spending a fortune on a guitar, the quality of it will be great and it will play well. Doesn't work that way. One of the things in the world of guitars which has niggled me for quite a long time is the snobbery. And I'm as guilty of it as the next man is. I've bought expensive guitars and sneered at, you know, cheaper things over the years. But in recent times, I really enjoy buying cheaper stuff. You know, for the past 10 years or so, I think the quality has gradually increased, whilst the quality of the more expensive stuff like this, and I've been a Fender fan all my life, I think it's got worse and worse. Fender's budget range now, Squire, I don't know, some of the lower priced Squire guitars, which are also made in China or Indonesia, and again, nothing wrong with that, but I don't think they're as good as, I don't think they come anywhere near to the quality of this thing, nowhere near it, you know? And you'd always think as you were starting out in your guitar playing journey, pick a reputable name. And I would also have said this to people that I've taught guitar to over the years. Go out and buy yourself, if you can't afford a Gibson or a Fender, go out and buy yourself an Epiphone or a Squire. You can't go wrong. That's not really the case now, you know. You can get much better for much less money. Case in point is this guitar. It's not a beginner's guitar. There's no such thing as a fucking beginner's guitar, okay? You buy what you can afford. You know, you cut your cloth accordingly, like everything else in life. Don't spend money you don't need to. If you pick this guitar up in a shop and you like the way it feels and you like the way it plays, then that's the guitar for you, isn't it, yeah? Why buy that for 10, 20 times as much money just because it's got a name on a headstock? Stupid, right? Don't fall for it. Don't be mugs, people. So, despite saying how great this guitar is, for my personal preference, there are a couple of things that I will do to it. It came strung with fairly lightweight strings. I'm pretty sure these are 9s, and I like heavier strings. It's just preference. I'll probably put some 10s on it. I had to clean these strings when they arrived because, you know, the guitar was probably assembled 6, 7, 8 months back, and it's been sat in a box or a container in a warehouse all the time. The strings aren't great. They're serviceable. If you buy this guitar as your first guitar, they will suffice. They will do. Don't think you've got to change them straight away. They will do. I will change them because this guitar's it will be out-earning its keep 2 times a week, every week from now on. So I need some comfortable strings because they're the bit of the guitar that you interact with, right? So they've got to be nice and smooth and they've got to be good strings. I will also, this guitar has a tremolo system on it and I will slam that down flat. It's got a tremolo arm with it here and it's good, you know. There's no screwing it in and messing about with it and worrying about things getting cross-threaded. It just plugs in, you just push it in like that. Then you've got your tremolo arm and it pulls back out again. Lovely. There's like a little rubber socket there that it all fits into. But I never use a trem, so I will lock the trem down on this. When I change the strings on it, I'll take off the back, fasten all the springs up nice and tight, and I'll lock it nice and tight. But that's it. I think that's pretty much all I'll do to it. Machine heads, tuners, they can stay where they are. I don't care. They're good. They're good enough. They hold it in tune. I've no complaints. I will not be changing the pickups on it. Don't need to. It will get strings. I'll get a quick setup. And it doesn't even need that much of a setup, you know. Again, I'm not an expert. I don't have any of the equipment with me. But if I look at the neck relief on there, it's kind of almost flat there. There's a little bit of relief in it. Sorry, I'm probably not doing that very well, am I? So you probably can't see what I'm doing. There we go. There's a little bit of relief you can possibly hear, but not much. That's okay, you know. I'm okay with that. I like the action on it. Nothing buzzes or kind of, you know, rattles or gets caught anywhere. It's good. It can stay the way it is for me. So look, if you want to buy not just a budget guitar, not a cheap guitar, not a beginner's guitar, if you want to buy a good guitar, take out your money, You're £169. Buy one of these, okay? You won't go wrong. You won't regret it. Even if you like more expensive guitars, fine. That's your choice. Knock yourself out. But buy one of these as well. Give it a go. I think you'll be impressed. I certainly was. And I will be using this guitar every week now at all my gigs. It'll be earning its keep. And I urge you to buy one too. So Jet Guitars, if you're watching this, fair play to you, boys. This is a good guitar. I hope you sell shitloads of them. One more thing. I'm not going to plug this thing in and play it for you because there's no point. You don't hear it coming back through my little microphone here anyway. And I don't know about you. There's one thing that drives me nuts. It's clicking on a link to hear somebody talk about a guitar or review a guitar, and it's 18 minutes of them playing a fucking Dave Gilmour inspired guitar solo and just wanking off. Who wants to see that? Who wants to hear that? I don't. You don't. Plus, quite often my guitar playing sucks anyway. So take my word for it. It sounds okay. All right.